Right, so episode 2, Mark.
Take 2.
2, because obviously we've ended up here.
Millionth attempt at everything again.
But we've gone a bit further this time, haven't we?
We've upgraded.
We've upgraded ever so slightly to something a bit more fancy and nice, and I think that
proper.
Yeah, so that we're actually
we're serious.
We're kind of
guys.
serious about what we're doing, and hopefully it will pay off and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we've just came out of obviously. We've come back after a Christmas, after the last episode, Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So how is everyone after Christmas? Everyone have a good Christmas first off? And obviously for yourself, how was it? Did you survive? That type of stuff.
This Christmas has actually had one of probably the best setups, I think, because obviously this is the first Christmas I've had as a family unit.
Nice.
And I think we smashed Christmas as a whole. Like we had a game plan. I think we executed that. Like our team just chilled. We ran through Christmas this year.
Yeah, I think we were dead lucky with Christmas this year, weren't we?
Yeah.
We really planned every aspect of it, which was something we've probably not done in the past, and we've just kind of gone for it, or something's happened or whatever.
Yeah.
But obviously, for a lot of people out there within our hospitality, within this realm, Christmas is literally the hardest part of the year, I would say. Other than maybe like. England games or big stuff like that, but Christmas is probably the hardest because it starts in end of September, and you've got Christmas songs on. So already Christmas has started for you. So come to Christmas, you are numb to Christmas. But Sam, obviously, you had a lovely Christmas.
Yeah, I had a great time, to be quite honest.
So what did you do, Sam, with your wonderful Christmas that
I didn't work?
You didn't work at all?
I was enjoying Christmas.
So how long did you have off?
Nearly a month.
A month over Christmas?
Pretty much, yeah. Because I stopped halfway through. I mean, I helped you on the kind of build up to the end of it, but I was just like, so they can do it. I'll go home.
Yeah.
I'll have a nice time.
So we suffered all of Christmas while Sam was, I say, sunning himself in...
Yeah, in lovely Scotland.
But really, it was wet and horrible and miserable. So
it actually wasn't.
Shut up. Obviously with the whole Christmas thing, for us, we were lucky, and we really sort of nailed everything out of it, and, good for us. With the other side of it, though, obviously, as I say, it starts really late. Starts, September, October time. Before Halloween, we're talking about Christmas. We're taking bookings.
Oh.
And the entirety of, December is hell. You walk in every day, right? How many bookings we got today? Right, 50. Brilliant. Can't wait.
Sometimes that sneaky booking that we think we're not prepared for.
One we've completely forgotten about, or we don't even know about, and someone snuck it in, like, it's 25, and then you go back later and it's a 48, and you're like, cool.
We've added a few people. It's only
a couple of people, don't worry. They've all got allergens as well, so, your whole kitchen's getting shut down for a bit.
Just waiting for Sandra to give us her pre-order, but we'll be ready.
Yeah. But obviously for those guys in hospitality, it can be horrible, because it's not only that the sacrifices you make to get actually into, you're at work, and it's probably the biggest amount of hours you're going to get, because obviously for us, we work a certain amount of hours every week, but we know full well we're going well and truly over those. But then everyone else in the industry, you're getting crazy bookings from Monday to Sunday, so even those hourly staff are picking up more and more and more. Yeah. And that means that then they're not getting home, they're not seeing family, they're not... I spoke to someone, I think it was Christmas Eve, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm working Christmas Day, and that's something I'd never do. But I thought, wow, like that's giving up that... I mean, some people it's not a big deal, but for me, it's that one time of the year, guarantee I get to see some of my family.
Yeah. Well, working Christmas Day in the past hasn't been too bad, especially if you're like a small pub. You'll open up for a couple of hours in the afternoon, you get all your drinkers in, and then you'll send them home, and then you'll have like an hour or 2 hours of like just sending out food and having like a mini restaurant. So all the people that you've like built like a companionship with, when they come in there, you're like their community based kind of thing. They come into your pub, you have your little local kind of Christmas dinner and everything,
the old couple come
and then you send
through
everyone home, you tidy up the pub, and you go home and have like a late Christmas yourself. So,
but I think that the whole of Christmas thing is something I think a lot of people need to understand, especially that people that don't work in hospitality.
For any part of
retail as well is insane. I think retail probably have it as bad, if not worse, sometimes.
Probably,
And I think those guys need medals half the time because I've been to some shops and I've gone, nope, I'm not even walking in there to buy something, and they're having to deal with those.
Order it
people.
on Amazon or something instead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, the answer for me is literally getting everything off Amazon. Like, I just go, right, I haven't got time to go shopping anyway.
Yeah, for a start, you're always at the pub end.
I'm literally working 5, 6 days, well, probably 6, 7 days a week over Christmas. So it's like, and when I have got time, I just want to curl into a ball and not do anything.
Plus,
So
Amazon Prime is fantastic for that. You just literally set it up, you press a button, it comes
it's
to
gone.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
you potentially wrap it up
over
and give it to
Christmas.
people.
How many times have like things come through at the pub and like barrels of things like that? Yeah, loads of gifts. I was like, oh, cheers, dude.
The office was literally like a packing zone for FedEx or whatever.
Yeah. One thing, obviously, from feedback from our last episode, a lot of people were saying it was really cool and like really interesting, sort of looking into it a lot more. But one thing we got back was, who are you guys?
Yeah.
Because obviously something we're probably not great at is telling us what we've done, and why on earth have we even thought about doing this? Why do we think that we might be able to shed some light on a few bits? So I thought today would be a good chance for us to go, okay, well, what have we done? What's our history? Why do we think we have any right to tell anyone anything? And go from there.
Well, I think we calculated it. It's about 35 years experience in total.
Yeah,
roughly, wasn't it?
I think I'm 34 of those years because you're young. I'm rocking like all of the years, but
Pretty much.
You say that, but I think my stint is
yours is the longest.
Longest.
You've
stint.
actually done the longest stint. I've just older and left and come back. That's the only difference.
You've done yours in 2 parts.
Yeah, I needed a break. So I think first off then, Sam, like for you, what's your background within hospitality? Like sort of, I say start to finish, but sort of, where do you get your experiences from, and where do you think you went, you know what, I actually love this, I'm going to keep doing it, whether it's for full time or not, but why are you doing it, and how long have you done it for?
Yeah, so I started working at like the age of 13, 14. And like the first job was in a bakery, so it wasn't exactly hospitality. It was kind of, it was like Saturday shift as well. I was at school, I get paid absolutely nothing, that kind of thing.
Go home with a couple of donuts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was
you had a wicked day as well.
There was literally times I'd come back with like 2 or 3 whole bags of just stuff that didn't sell.
That's amazing.
And I'd eat fantastically.
I would do that now for free.
My lunchtime meals at school for a week were always brilliant. Rocking with like 4 Scotch pies and like 2 yum yums, and I'm sound.
Everyone else has got like proper sandwich, and you're just opening a box of donuts, going
right on it. So I worked there for a while until it actually closed down, and then I kind of did like odd things here and there, working for my mum and stuff like that as well. And then my first kind of like hospitality job was this cafe. It was out of town, so it was a farm shop cafe kind of area, and it was linked to a kind of community for disabled and vulnerable people.
Yeah.
So it was actually a really good experience to work there, because I actually gained a lot of skills in like helping them and like
allowing them to do their job and
and like working alongside them and stuff like that, and it's given me a lot of life skills in terms of dealing with people.
Not only boost your confidence and things, but it boosts their confidence as well.
Yeah, so like they do like jobs that were safe and comfortable for them. So it'd be like polishing cutlery or chopping up veg in the kitchen or something like that. They'd be supervised. We'd watch over them, make sure they're all right, and
not throwing things around the kitchen.
Yeah. I mean, it did happen a couple of times.
But the thing is, that sort of thing I think's amazing for like yourself to actually go and do, because obviously, like you said, you've learned those life skills, you learn some cool stuff.
Even at like at that young an age as well, to like
see the real world a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm real thing about people, within hospitality. I genuinely think, forget like army subscriptions and stuff where you have to go do a hospitality job, work with real people from all walks of life, and learn to adapt within those situations, because eventually, hopefully, when you're a full-blown adult, you might be a bit more tolerant of all the things that are going on around you.
At school, you do work experience.
Yeah.
Hospitality experience.
Yeah, that's it. It should just be hospitality. 15 years old, while you're at school, go and do hospitality. Yeah. 100%. So I think something like that's really cool.
Yeah. So, and then I worked there for a few years on and off with school. And then COVID hit, and then obviously that fucked everything. So I ended up working in a factory with my dad for a bit over COVID and that. Yeah. And I, it was money at the end of the day. I'd basically finished school at that point, because it was in my final year, and they just cut the year short and were like, oh, we'll just give you your grades or something. So I didn't have much, and then
all right for some.
I know. did a year up in Dundee, dropped out, and then I've came down to Leicester.
Yeah.
Then that's kind of when I started getting really into hospitality, and like I've had a few jobs since then. So I worked at a pizza place as well, in the kitchen, and then I worked at a kind of Latin American restaurant, doing kind of bartending. Not as much, but I was mainly a server, but then I work in the kitchen as well. Jack of all trades. I was doing everything and getting paid absolute peanuts on it, so that's why I left. Didn't appreciate being off.
Didn't appreciate the peanuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Not roasted.
No, they weren't. So I was there for a while and then left because obviously it just wasn't a good fit by that point. And then my first kind of actual kind of bartending, like late night kind of job was a kind of craft beer place, the centre of town, which is no longer here. Which I have loads of stories about, and I don't really agree with the people that run it. But yeah, that job was mad. I got thrown in the deep end with that. Didn't have a manager at all. There was like 2 staff members, and then first shift was a Saturday night, and I just went in, and it was just absolute chaos. The cellar was flooding with
Water.
human excrement. Human excrement. I'm not even joking. Like the old manager got dysentery from having to deal with that before.
No wonder he left.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm left.
Exactly.
No.
But so first chef came in like that. Nothing was done because it was just rammed, and nobody was.
Yeah.
There's nobody to manage, and then we were being shadow managed by somebody in a different county
Good.
who I never met.
What are they doing? Just like watching on CCTV.
Well,
Yeah, they look all right.
They apparently did the rota, which they didn't do the rota anyway, and that was it.
stand up.
It sounds like an amazing place to work. That.
Only time I met any form of management was when I lost my job, because they were closing it. It was random Wednesday. I was at uni. I was in the studio doing all my coursework and portfolio and stuff, and they were like, "Oh, can you come in? We need to have a chat, like as a group, as a team." The area manager's here. I was like, "Oh, all right. No, I'm busy. I'll come when I can." And I was like, "Yeah, but you really..." I was like, "Realistically, I'm going to get there about 6." And they were like, "Okay, fine. We're not going to tell you anything." And by that point, I was like, "This is fishy." Got there, and I seen this massive white van outside. Sign already off the wall, already like plastering like white stickers up the windows. I was like, "Oh,
That's closed.
only got this job 2 months ago, and then I'm out of it already." And I walked inside. I was like, "Yeah, you don't actually tell me I'm losing my job because all the glasses were gone, chairs were in the back of the van, all the craft, all the fridges were emptied, and everything. There was just all the
And that was just
spirits
in the space
gone.
of what, a few hours
Yeah.
of them making that decision.
Yeah.
That's madness.
They decided to close right there and then. Didn't even give us a chance to like go out with a bang or something like that.
Here's a free beer.
Yeah.
It's like they just give you a couple of cans of beer, like, sauce.
Yeah.
They could have done something.
Well, they were trying to get me to move to Nottingham and work there, but I was like, I'm a student here. I ain't travelling.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of them will do that, don't they? Because they want to show that they're offering a job.
Yeah.
Know
Yeah.
full well you can't take that
Exactly.
job. It's just like,
So then they don't actually have to pay you any money.
Exactly.
Because I got nothing.
yeah, they won't do anything. I think a lot of it, I don't know if it's probably going to be how long you need to be there, because I think with most companies now it's like a year, isn't it, or so, before you even think about getting any sort of compensation.
Yeah, I think it was. I needed to work there for a year, but I was there for like 2 months.
Yeah.
I was like,
So
oh,
you had nothing to them. You was like,
and then
goodbye.
the funny thing is, I forgot to say this before, but they sent an email like that night being like, "Oh, congratulations, we're putting up your wage by like £1."
After you've been fired.
And then 2 minutes later, we're very sorry that email got sent to you. And I was like,
That was genuinely
you
like
fucking should be.
across the board email.
You
wasn't it?
fucking you fucking should be. I've
They've
lost
just
my
saved
job.
they've saved all
and
that
you're
money closing his site,
Yeah.
so that now they can pay everyone else an extra quid.
Yeah, brilliant, fantastic.
Minimum wage went up, and they were like, "Oh shit, we got to do something to catch up."
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after that, obviously, I started working with you guys, and then I'm kind of at the point, final year of uni. Kind of need to figure out what I'm doing because I've absolutely no idea whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's a tough decision, and then I don't think it's a decision if you make today, tomorrow, next month, whatever. It's not one that you need to stay with forever. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I think it is a hard decision, because I think for all of us that point where, and I remember finishing uni, going, right,
mean, we're doing.
No.
We did the
we
same
did
course.
we did. So for anyone who even cares, we did the same course.
We look
we are
like each other.
literally, you know,
We're
I'm
twins.
the future version of you. We look the same.
Yeah,
You know,
it
just got
doesn't
more
get
hair.
better, does it?
It does not get any better. Honestly, all
Shit.
that's happening is just gets slowly worse. So right now,
At least
you-
at one point, I'll get absolutely a hench. I think.
well, yeah,
Have an
potentially.
Potentially, that's it. That's the po-
Because you've got nothing else in life,
Yeah.
and that's what happens. You know, it's a sad, actually sad one.
Yeah.
But
But you find really cool deals on hats and shirts.
I do, yeah. That's my entire life now.
And the shoes as well.
But like, the thing is for you right now, it's like, you know, finish uni. And I think anyone who finishes university within the hospitality, by all means, just jump into hospitality. It's a job you've already got.
Yeah.
Jump into it, enjoy it for a few years, and enjoy not having anything else.
Yeah.
Because as much as hospitality is stressful and it's hard and things like that, the reality of it is you can, depending on what level you end up doing and where you go, there is a point where you can just go, and it's 5 o'clock, I'll finish, see you later.
Yeah, and it's
you
not
can-
your problem
and you
anymore.
Don't need to worry about it. And you
Yeah.
can enjoy the money you've earned, you can enjoy that, and you can, I don't know what a lot of people think, but you can actually earn decent money. You can
Yeah.
earn good
Especially
money.
these
Yeah, I
days.
mean,
Yeah.
well, not past couple of months because I've been off and I've not
Yeah.
actually been working that much, but like the paycheck's been good recently.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's it.
I
And
can't lie.
We've been, you know, reality we get paid okay. Like,
Yeah.
you know, hospitality, majority of companies pay
We
decent
do
now.
get kind of looked after.
Yeah, in that sense. I mean, obviously, thankfully, without mentioning the company, we're a big company, so we kind of got that.
Security.
But others, obviously, you know, the independents or the ones
Yeah.
that you were in, I think that's the scary part. And I think for me, I'd never jump into one of those. When I was first at uni, like for me, you know, when I was 18 and I wanted that job, I wanted a job. Actually, when I came into uni, I moved in a lot earlier. So I think you can move in normally around September time.
Yeah.
I moved in July. So we skipped the halls and went straight to our house. I went to a private rent as well. And I'd worked really hard over that summer. I had what I thought was loads of money at the time. I was like, I've got $2,000. That's going to last me all year.
No, it doesn't.
No problem
It
at all.
does
I am
not.
loaded,
It
right?
does
Honestly,
not.
I thought I was loaded. And I was like, right, I'm not going to need to worry about getting a job. I'm going to have so much. I'm going to be out every week. From July until September, that money had gone.
Yeah.
I'd spent all of it. And I was like, I have no money. My student loan doesn't even drop yet. I've got nothing. I never realised, as you know, when you're 18, so if you didn't realise you have to buy stuff like, you know, toilet roll, like that costs money, like, and all these
Yeah.
other weird things. I never thought of it because obviously I always lived at home. So I was like,
Mum and Dad would get
I
that.
realised, obviously, I've got to buy food. Everyone buys food. I didn't think you had to go and buy the other things.
Yeah.
Like, you get there and there's no shower gel. I'm like, what's going on? I'll buy my own. Like, this is mad. So, obviously, for me, I was like, oh, shit, I've got no money. I don't know what to do. I need to get a job. I'll become a barman. Oh, I can pour beer. Can't be that hard. It'll be fine. So, from where I lived, I walked down every single... I lived in a bit where there's like 15 bars at the time. All right, CVs in every single one. And where I actually ended up working is where I work now, which is a bit weird. But yeah, I got I had in my CV a couple of hours later. I was literally walking back and got a phone call from the manager, offered me the job. I was like, oh, sick. So I had the interview and stuff, and I think he's a really cool guy, and he thought, I was obviously super cool. And he's like, oh, so how you getting to work? And I was like, skateboard. Yeah, nerd. And so we did all that, and then obviously I started within there, and I did that I did it all through university. Then I got to that decision where you are, and went, what am I going to do? A lot of my friends were still around. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to stay. I'll stay around. I've got a house still. I'm all good. And I ended up doing for like sort of 7 odd years. And I got to that point where all my friends had now left. So they'd either finished university, gone back home. They'd finished university, got the job they wanted. My friends that were still in the industry have gone and progressed, or they've gone to a different pub or bar or restaurant or whatever they're doing. And it was kind of like, oh, I'm the one left. Like, I'm generally left. And I did feel like I was behind now, because these guys had done well at uni, they'd done amazing things. I did all right at uni.
No.
But as you know, it's a difficult industry, because we did music at uni. So a lot of that side of things, it's hard to get into.
And there's like 200,000 people employed in the entire industry.
Yeah.
The UK.
And there's 50,000 students doing it a year.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Ratio.
So
It's all like who you know.
you don't need to,
rather
you don't
than
need
like
a degree in it.
your degree. So I don't know why I've done.
Yeah, well, you do. It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
But so I went, I need to think of something. And at the time, I was like, the pay was okay, but it's not nothing like it is now. And I remember talking to my manager and say, look, I need to find another job. I need to get paid properly now. And I found a job in a call centre, which, again, it wasn't something I wanted to do, but it was a lot better money.
Yeah.
The hours were nice, because at the time, it was Monday to Friday, 9-5. I was like, I'm an adult. That's what adults do. You know, and that was in my head that, you know, Monday to Friday, adults do that. And then, you know, you wear a shirt and tie and shoes and all that rubbish, and you know, that's what you do after you've done. That's you becoming successful, some sort of situation. And I told my manager, and he said, okay, well, let me have a look into it. And he came back and offered me an assistant manager job. And I was like, oh, wasn't expecting that. He said, yeah, for 48 hours a week.
Yeah.
That's your minimum contract.
Yep.
And back then, it was reality, you're doing 60, like minimum.
Yeah, there was no like.
There was no like. It was almost like a
was
badge of honour, wasn't it? Like, oh, I did 75 hours this week, did 100 hours this week. It's like you're killing
You're
yourself.
still getting paid the same.
You're getting paid the same.
Yeah.
But the worst part was the pay. £14,000 for a year. So for 48 hours a week.
Aye, but
I was getting paid
how long ago was this?
Right. Okay. And
Back in day.
Back in day. So hang on. It would have been, I would say, 10 years ago.
All right. So actually,
10, 11 years ago, roughly.
That's a bit more than that, isn't it?
that's still a bit. Yeah.
No, I'm 35 now.
Yeah.
So it would have been, I would have been at 24, 25, I think. Something like that. But it was like 14 grand a year. And I was like, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
The call centre was not being offered. They're offering me a little bit more, not a lot, but they're offering me more.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this makes more sense. So I went into that. And I've never been so unhappy in my life in a workplace. So it was a place where you have to clock in every morning, a little pass, and God forbid you're a second late, it flags red. You're not even up the stairs yet, and your manager's like screaming at you. It's not my fault. I had to get a bus or something. I can't help it. And then
Skateboards.
yeah, not a skateboard. You couldn't get to a skateboard.
Yeah.
You couldn't use a skateboard back then. In a suit, because you had to wear a suit in a call centre where no one saw you. Very important. And then the other part was when you get there and you have 3 months worth of training, 3 months of training to pick up a phone.
Yeah.
I can talk to absolutely anyone because of hospitality. I can talk to anyone about anything. So I was fine. Everyone else was shitting themselves. Like, hello? I was like, yeah, you're right. Oh, you're too casual. Okay, sorry. But the problem I had was, you'd sit there and you're there for 8 hours. And if you wanted to go to the toilet, you almost had to put your hand up and go, oh, excuse me, can I go to the toilet? Like at school.
Back in
school.
primary school.
But you had to press a little button on the thing. And a timer would genuinely start.
Silly.
And you get 20 minutes a day for 8 hours.
So like you'd stop.
You start it, and then you'd have to run from wherever your bit in the office is. Mine was the furthest away from the bathroom. I'm not joking. I always had that argument.
Sprinting across the room.
So I'm literally running to go to the toilet to then run back, and heaven forbid I want to get a coffee on the way back.
Oh, imagine.
As you both know, I drink a lot of coffee. It's the only thing that keeps me going.
Brush your teeth with it, Daniel.
Huh?
Brush your teeth with
Yeah,
it.
pretty
now,
much,
don't
yeah.
you?
But like, 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day, and I'm running, and you have to keep pressing this button. And as soon as you flick over, as soon as you go over that, and it goes over 20 minutes, like 20 minutes in a second, you're red. So then go straight to the manager. The next thing you know, the manager's pulling the office.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is horrible. How do people live like this? And you sort of look around, and you get all these people have been doing it for 6 years, 10 years, whatever. And it's like, you're all so unhappy. I don't want to do this. So I was like, no, I've got to leave. I can't, do this forever. And it kind of made me. I'm not saying depressed, but I was at that point where I was proper miserable. I made up excuses not to go into work.
Yeah, well,
and
you got
if
to
there
work to get put in a box and answer a phone.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember once I was so didn't want to go to work, and I couldn't find a reason not to go because I was calling in sick. I was doing all because it was I just didn't want to go. I didn't care about the money at that point. I just didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And I lived with my cousin at the time, and he had a sling. I was like, sick.
Nice.
Because you need to have your hands for a phone. You can't got time. So I turned up in a sling. And they were like, what happened? Oh, I fell off my bike. I can't be all right. Oh, you can't. You won't be able to work, mate. Oh, you're going to have to send me home then.
Oh, no.
Not my problem. You sent me home. And I just didn't want to be there. So eventually when I left, I found another job. And again, that was half decent, but all right pay again. And had a really fancy title, drove around in a fancy policeman car. But again, had to wear a suit every day. And you say, it was like...
No, I meant ooh.
Yeah, but that was it. It was all face. Do you know what I mean? Again, those salesman roles and all that, it was just face. You look the part, because the company make you look the part. They give you that car. They give you, they give you a title that doesn't even make sense.
Aye.
And then you go in to spend 6 hours a day either on the motorway or sat in a McDonald's car park sending emails. You have one meeting, and it was that one time again. It was sort of like I'm really unhappy. Like this cannot just be it. Like
He misses
at that
the
point.
rush.
I was you know what it was. I missed having fun.
Yeah.
I missed being able to go. I'm actually having fun and messing around.
I feel like especially with like bars and like pubs and stuff, you can actually have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not so much with like restaurants and stuff because it's a bit more.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on the restaurant.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you go fine dining, 100% you have to be bored as hell.
Yeah.
But like if you go to like a really cool, like niche sort of thing, and everyone's super cool about stuff, I think you could.
Yeah.
But like for me, it was. I remember this one pinnacle point of that old job, and it was this old dude opened up his laptop, and he'd been there for like 40 years, and he opened it up and just went. Started work, and I went. I don't want that.
No.
I cannot have that. That looks really depressing.
I'm going to be him in 20 years.
I'm going to be him. Well, I'm not that old. I'm going to be him in 40 years' time. But he was so like not happy. But he was like on his way to retirement. You know, if he couldn't find a job there. And I remember it's like, what do I do? And I remember sitting down for weekends and going, I need to find something I want to do, but there's no jobs. I haven't got great qualifications. I've got music, but like reality, that's not going to get me, a job becoming a doctor. So I might do, but you know.
Music therapist.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
But then I was like, what do I do? Pubs were the thing that made me happy, like that fun and at the
Engaging
time
with people like face to face, like
being a person again and actually having some
People
fun.
Not a robot.
Yeah. And not a robot, and so for me, I was like, oh, cool. And then luckily, a friend of mine had just taken over a new pub, and they needed an assistant manager at the time. I met up with their big boss, and because she liked me, she was like, yeah, let's go for it, let's give it a go. And then thankfully now, 7-8 years-ish later,
About 8 now, yeah.
you know, I've got the pub that I first poured my pint in when I was 18. I'm now running. And in my personal opinion, in my personal opinion, it's probably one of the best pubs around. I'm saying that it's always me, but I'm saying that because it's the one I'm running, but also because I think it's got something for everyone, and you know, it's super cool.
We can cater to a lot of different audiences.
Absolutely, we're sort of a place to go.
It's
and I
like
think
you've got like match days and stuff like that, which you know they're hectic as well. But you get a lot of folk in, you get the football.
Yeah,
But then you've got
very adaptive. you
Yeah.
know. We've got so much going on that appeals to the younger audience,
Student
the
nights,
students.
yeah.
You've got then the people who think they're like you know young businessmen, the people who are just starting their careers, who come in there because it's a cool place to go.
Yeah.
Then you've got the people who just like a quiet drink.
Yeah.
Because there's a few nights.
it's always
where we are-
the Tinder dates.
Yeah.
You get a couple of Tinder dates, they're always funny. You see them all like really nervous and stuff, like, you're amazing.
Then we've got the crazies with the bottomless brunches and the sub clubs and crap.
Yeah.
You know.
I think I'd say it's one of those pubs where, you know, we're lucky. Again, I feel quite lucky to be running it for anyone, and lucky to have the team around me. But yeah, so that's kind of why I think, you know, we between us at least, and obviously we'll go to yourself, you know, we've got a lot of experience with the amount of years that we've done. We've been through a lot of different things. I mean, this last 7 years I've had 4 pubs.
Yeah.
So, you know, and they're very different pubs. You
Yeah.
know, from old boy pubs to fun student pubs to anything in between, cocktailish, bar-y type places originally when we were first there.
When we first worked
Yeah.
together.
So, you know, we've done a bit of everything. So we've got a lot of experience, and we've gone through it all, we've seen a lot, you know, and that's kind of the sort of stuff, you know, after this episode we're really going to start getting into, hopefully.
Yeah,
But-
well, once we like relax into this, I think it really will become that. Like the idea behind this is we're going to sit down after work, have a chat, have a couple of drinks, and just talk about our life experiences and how it's affected us and where we're going with it, and you know how it's affected the people in our industry or our friends.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
tell on then. Tell us all about you.
go on,
Tell us
Candy.
all about your ridiculous history.
Yeah, it's a bit extensive, isn't it? Really. And it only occurred to me when we tried to do this last time that I didn't actually start in a pub. I started in a bloody cinema, of all places, and I didn't think of that as hospitality at the time, especially as when I first started work, I was still living at home, so money wasn't really a contributing factor for me. It was just a means to the end to help my mum out with the house and me to go get pissed up all the time. But
isn't that what just money is?
I thought
It is,
that's
right,
that's
yeah.
literally the point. You pay bills and the rest of it's to go drinking
is that right?
and have
Who
fun.
needs food?
And toys.
Yeah.
Buying like ridiculous things that you don't need.
Yeah.
Funko Pops and just random
Massive
shit.
Lego Star Wars.
That's just Lego Star Wars things, but you need them.
Yeah,
so
you do
let's
need
be
And
them.
all the hobbies, you know, when you're going through hobbies after hobbies, you got to fund
That's
them.
you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah, I can't help it.
Yeah.
I told you, I was on the spectrum.
Fixates on something for a month, and then you'll walk in on shift like a week later, and he's on something else already.
Yeah, the other one's in the bin. Like,
Yeah.
it's gone. It's
You
well
bought
out
like
the
the
window.
latest of everything as well.
Yeah.
You don't even go hard, like slightly, and you go hard.
Ah, yeah.
You're like, I'm just really into darts. Oh, cool, no problem.
know-
I bought everything related to darts.
Yeah.
You know how we-
Everything.
Here's my darts collection. I've got a dartboard at home.
Yeah, I've got 15
Like,
lots of different things.
Yeah.
I've done this, I've done that.
I'm telling you things that you don't even understand. Like, I've got these new points for my darts and things. Yeah.
You know why we started playing with that Rubik's Cube?
Yeah.
I reckon give it 2 weeks time, I'll come in with like a massive one like that
Oh,
and
no,
just sat at the
the
bar.
Rubik's Cube's like 5 years ago, Sam.
Yeah, that's
Right,
that was the
I've got a
5 year
collection
ago
at
thing.
home that's worth over £200, mate.
Yeah, genuinely.
I've
you used to come
got
into the
one that
pub and
goes
just
from a
like-
2x2 to a 7x7.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So,
So,
yeah.
back to
Sorry,
you.
tangent. Yeah, this is
tangent.
me. Like, I do tangent. I'm sorry.
So back to you then. So you
Yeah.
started at the
I
cinema.
started at the cinema and I did a bit of everything. So I started confectionery, which is like behind the tills. Here's your ticket, fuck off. Here's some popcorn. Oh no, I burnt this hot dog. So
You'd
I
eat
better
the hot
go
dog.
throw that away. Wink, wink. I'm going to go eat that in the back.
Yeah.
Well, lunch break, innit?
Quick
And then-
question. Popcorn.
Yeah.
How much did you eat?
I don't like popcorn, so none. Yeah. Well, like you think.
I would have rinsed that to hell, man.
They'd have been so down on
Like the
Nah.
salt and sweet mix.
Yeah, well, you also
So
got to
good.
think that it comes in massive vatted bags that you put in a back room somewhere, right? And it sits in those for weeks.
You don't make it yourself.
No.
Wait, so the popcorn's
you-
already been popped.
Yeah, and then it's just put in a bag
What?
and sealed, and then you put it in a storeroom. But we used to have a delivery, right? Yeah.
I am not happy with what I've just found
the
out.
last 21, nearly 22 years of my life, I've been a lie. What?
No, yeah, of course.
I always thought when you're paying about £15 for a bit of
always-
popcorn, at least
yeah.
it's fresh.
You're paying.
I always thought that, like, the glass thing.
Was that popping it?
I thought that was the thing.
No,
like,
we don't put kernels in the bottom.
in the
and that's it,
counter.
yeah.
I always thought that
I
thing
thought you
was
get
like
there
the bit-
early,
No,
pour
no.
the kernels in, bop, 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 and then they'd obviously put
No.
the sugar in.
So when I used to work there as well,
Cinemas
when we
are so
used to be
shit.
delivery day,
This is why they're going
this
out. No one
massive
goes anymore.
lorry would come, right, and then they would unpack like pallets of pallets, like kilos worth of popcorn.
this is why
right?
it's going
And
down.
we used to literally throw it at each other.
This is why cinemas are going to shit.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah? If anyone
didn't
from the
even
cinema
know.
industry watches this,
Yeah.
fucking sort it out because it's shit. That's
feel-
what's
I
too
feel like-
expensive
I feel
to get
like-
a ticket. It's about 50 quid for a ticket nowadays, and about £25 for some
I
popcorn.
was actually
it's not even
proven wrong
popped
for this the other day.
itself.
I thought it was still like 25, 30 quid for a ticket, right? They've come back down in price.
Well, no, you've never. I don't think it was ever that much.
I remember-
was being quite
I can't
exaggerated.
lie, lads. I think we're getting a little bit sidetracked.
We do. Yeah,
what?
we're sidetracked again.
Oh yeah, my bad. It's because I'm allowed to speak. you see. Yeah. But,
So go on. So you worked at,
yeah.
worked at
So when I worked downstairs,
a
it was a
thieving
lot of-
place that
yeah,
stole
exactly,
all
right.
my
We can
money.
talk about the popcorn thing later.
I'm going to
Yeah,
talk about it
yeah.
in depth later.
with a beer. But then I started working in projection, right? This guy called X used to work up there, and he used to just set alarms. You just go have naps, right? He would wake up and he would come around, press play, and it would go. It would run in.
So you say projection, you mean the back of the cinema, the
Yeah,
reels?
so we used to have the 33mm projectors, like the big ones that roll through, and then you'd have to respire it.
So with actual film?
Yeah, exactly, right. But when we moved on to digital, it was basically just you go in there, you'd set all the times up in the day, and then you'd press play, and it'd take care of itself. Only reason you'd need to be up there is if you needed to sort something out, a data corruption or anything like that, or
Did he lose his job?
huh?
Did he lose his job then?
I left before he did. Yeah, so.
It could still be in that room like that.
Yeah, still
He's still there. They've just boarded him up in it. He's in the club. Yeah.
So what did you do after your cinema then?
After the cinema, I worked for a nice little locals pub when I moved in with my nan, which is where we were talking about our first shifts and things.
Yeah,
I really learned a lot there because it was like a small little pub. So working behind the bar, you get used to talking to everyone, all different walks of life. Like you'd have your old biddies come in the afternoon, have their coffees and lunch. Then you've got your work, like the tradesmen who come in with all of their concrete coming off. Exactly, doing some silly shit in the toilets. And then you've got the guys who come out in the evenings who just want to have a nice dinner and things.
Yeah.
Like our restaurant was always full,
Yeah.
like most days of the week. So yeah, did a crazy amount there. Had a horrible. Unfortunately, the two managers that I worked for at the beginning, they left, and I got a horrible manager in, which is the first experience I've ever had of like a manager not understanding their job. So I had a horrible falling out. Me and my partner at the time, we just left. We walked out.
Yeah.
And it was like right before Christmas. It was one of those times where where
Amazing time to leave somewing
like
as well.
in a show.
If you're going to do
yeah.
it properly. Yeah, leave them in the shit.
What is it, like a drama show or something? They did like the mass walkout. It's basically we just feel like, yeah, fuck this shit, I'll see you later. And we just left
Throw
middle
a
of
glass
shift.
on the floor.
Yeah, so we dipped on that.
Bartender
Then I,
equivalent of a mic drop.
Yeah, exactly. I left the bottle on the side. Then I worked for a chicken shop for a bit. That was really cool. I met a guy, a Scottish guy, who actually used to do mixology and bartending, flair bartending, words.
Yeah.
So I ended up talking to him. He ended up hooking me up, and then I worked for this place that you have to go through like this really cool, like long-winded, like training course, which is kind of where like I honed in my.
So a real,
my
like
trade.
a full-on course learning how to.
Yeah, so you have to learn how to flair.
So flipping
So,
stuff
yeah,
around,
you have to-
bottles, catching them, and all that
So
crazy
you got to
stuff.
do the whole back of the hand thing, over the back, round.
Oh, right.
You have to know like a little set routine. So like when you're not serving, you can entertain. You've also got to know the booklet that they put on the bar. You have to know all of that, and you've also got to know like the little booklet underneath that, just in case someone orders off menu or old menu, right? So there I'm there, like my first week with all my cheat sheets, like trying to catch up and get these cocktails out for people. It's not too bad now. Like I think most of them still come back to me every now and then when someone's like, "Oh, could you do us a random cocktail?" I'm like, yeah, of course I can. And then I've got.
Well, our stocks are always down.
Yeah, no.
It's not just Matt. Brain died.
So you learn your flaring.
Yeah, did all the flaring, did all the fun there, but the pay was awful. Like genuinely, I had to do like so many hours running around, and then there wasn't enough hours on the bar and stuff to catch all up. So I had to do like hosting, had to work in the kitchen. It was the first time I worked in a kitchen before. And that was horrible.
So you took those
chaotic.
on extra to make the income in.
I had to try and pay rent and stuff. So did that. The tips there weren't great either.
I think that's the big thing for this industry as well, especially if you're firstly new to the scene. So say you go to your new job, they've still got the old staff who are on there guaranteed almost hours anyway because the manager likes them. They've known them for ages. You're trying to break into it, and they're like, "We can give you 15 hours this week." And you're like, "I need 40 to make the bills." Yeah, we can give you 15.
I was doing like 20 on the bar. I was doing 10 on the front and then 10 in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So I was doing quite a few hours, just trying to scratch anything that I could. And then after that, my partner at the time, she started working for a steakhouse. Ended up going and working on the bar there. Ended up taking over the bar there, which was really nice. Big old pay increase and everything. My first insight and actually like making orders, doing a rota, doing
cool.
doing the little bits and pieces that you actually don't think about as when you step up into that role.
Yeah.
And the funniest part about that is also when I ever ran my first section in a restaurant, actually like taking orders and things, doing like some random shorthands and putting it through on the till, getting up to the thing like, the fuck did they order?
How many times did you get that wrong?
Only a couple of times. It's all right, yeah. They didn't allow me on the floor very often, so they were like, "Get back there and make your cocktails," which is cool because you get to stand on the corner as people waiting for the table and talk to them and things. So I still had a massive interaction with people, which is awesome. Worked for a little pub just after that, before I moved up to Leicester.
Nice.
Ended up coming to Leicester. The first bar that I ever applied for was our friends actually interviewed us. It's really quite a funny story. I saw the old manager at the time give him our CV, and Harris looked at it and was like, "Okay." And then came over, we sat down, and he just looked at me and was like, "If I look unprepared, mates, because I am." And he went, "Are you a fucking idiot?" I was like, "No." And then we had a small chat, and that was it. Later on, he gave me a call and was like, "Do you want to come do a trial shift?" And that was my whole stint of trying to get a job in Leicester.
What an amazing
interview.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love
If
it.
only it was that easy,
Maybe that's how I should do it from now on. That'd be amazing.
Are you a fucking idiot?
Well, as soon as you go, yes. Like, then
Yeah.
I'll stay home.
Reckon I could pull that off of like Universal Music Group. Just go to their headquarters, be like, "You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sign. We'll hire you."
Yeah. I like it. So yeah, then I've been with our company ever since.
Yeah.
So I think I'm coming up to 8.5 years here, maybe 9 years now.
Wow.
In our company.
What do you think? Like, so that's that's what we've done so far and everything else. And obviously, the whole point of all this is to just shed some light on a lot of things. I think because we've obviously filmed so many episodes which haven't actually aired because we've messed them up. Because we're amazing at this.
So when you first started things, it's so easy to fuck up or like not think about the small things that matter.
Whether it's not, we've mentioned this before. What kind of do you guys get up to then? Because obviously we've all been working in the industry quite a while. It's crazy stressful sometimes. It takes up a lot of our lives because reality is, we're doing 40 plus hours a week minimum.
Yeah.
And obviously for yourself, you've got university as well as work as well. So you're probably you're probably doing more hours than we are.
Trying to get a social life.
Trying to have a social life
that.
and trying to sleep and trying to, you've got a lot on.
Yeah.
So how do you guys sort of maintain some sort of and we're not going to say mental health, but sort of how do you maintain some sort of sanity
Yeah.
with it all? What
Alcohol.
do you? I mean, but
Yeah,
what,
we
no,
do.
but like on a good way, genuinely. What do you do then?
I
What's
think I'm
yours?
really lucky. Like we all know I'm on autism here. I've got ADHD. So I bounce between a lot of things. I find a lot of things very interesting quite quickly. The moment is stocks. I've literally been sat looking at stocks
I
and
don't think I've
spreadsheets.
ever seen you so much on your phone before.
I know,
in my
right?
life.
Yeah, it's
You're
ridiculous.
gonna have to log his phone away in
Yeah.
the cell at some point.
Maybe we should put a
We need
timer
to just
on
put
it.
timers on. Like, I'm
Yeah.
only allowed on my phone for like 2 minutes a day. It's the only thing that stopped me, honestly. I woke up this morning, right, and I had an alert and a buy signal for for gold trades. So I've been looking at charts all day. Other than that, though, I've got
This
a
is your fault.
It is my fault,
Yeah.
actually, isn't it?
Yeah, we were talking about it.
I'm gonna find something else shiny and take them off this.
Oh, look, spoon. And then I've got an amazing partner, right? And I think that really has, that takes you just the other way. Because you do get in a bit of a rut, especially in this job. We get home sometimes at like past 2 a.m. Then we're fucking about and it's like, 4 a.m, the sun's starting to come up.
So, I might as well just stay up now.
Yeah,
So
right,
you
you
like-
just get in these like horrible...
Are you like me as well
spirals.
then, where you struggle, like you finish work, you get home and you go, wide awake. I'm knackered at work. I could fall asleep in that office chair happily.
Oh, easy, yeah.
But the moment I get home, I'm like, I'm awake.
Yeah.
Amazing. So do you find, what do you like,
It's the switch off, isn't it? Like, you've got
you
to
just
distract
chill
your
for a
brain
bit
to-
and
yeah.
just try and sort of get calm
And,
yourself
yeah,
down
and then
before
try
you
not
go.
to get in the loop of looking at your phone or playing a game because
Yeah.
that never helps.
No.
So like I've got in a routine now. I'll get home and I'll throw some darts, and then I'll just chill out. I'll take my brain away from whatever
Yeah.
I was doing at work, and then I'll lay down, and I can usually fall asleep in an hour, which is much better than I used to.
Yeah, fair.
I used to get 2 or 3 hours a night. So
So for me, like it's it's I go to the gym. It's the only thing I really got. So I go to work, I go to sleep, I go up, I go to the gym. Makes me happy. Go to
Yeah.
work, go to sleep, go to the gym. Makes me happy.
Yeah.
And that sort of that's a really really fun cycle of my life.
Yeah.
And within that, I drink about 6 million milligrams of caffeine a day
Oh, yeah,
to keep me
yeah.
going. But like. Is there anything else you sort of like, obviously, thankfully you got a really awesome missus and,
Yeah.
you got your darts, everything else. Do you do anything else sort of, yourself? Do you think about anything else? Do you do anything else? Is there any sort of like,
Mindfulness thing.
Yeah, is there anything
Yeah.
like that you guys get up to? Or do you get, it could be, and, maybe you meditate, I don't know. But like, and I've tried it a couple of times and it's really weird. Don't do it.
To be fair, I used to meditate quite a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I've tried it. I couldn't
I can't
figure it
I
out.
can't switch my brain off.
No,
No,
you
yeah.
can't.
It'd be
you
pointless
can't.
for you to try
Not
and
for
do it.
you. I
Yeah.
won't bother.
But I used to do it a lot anyway when I did like karate and stuff. Like you'd like spend like 2 minutes before the session, like just on your knees, just
Like chilling.
yeah. But like I'd actually just sit and do it sometimes because
Yeah.
like it
does
does
help.
it does actually help until
Yeah.
it just doesn't, and it's
Peace
just like
of
why
mind.
am I
almost,
sitting
isn't
here?
it? Yeah.
So what about you then, Sam? What are you doing to try and keep yourself from throwing a glass at a customer's face?
Yeah.
Not
And
that we'd ever do
not
that.
like mending
Punching
yourself with
punching a
caffeine
customer in the face instead
gym.
of throwing the glass in the face. That's what I do instead. Nah. I don't really know. I don't really have time to do anything at the moment.
Yeah.
I think my music is kind of the only thing that, I'm doing.
Are you doing
It's-
music for yourself or doing it for
Yeah,
uni
so-
at the moment, or is it
well,
a bit of both? Or
Bit of both. It's majority uni, but like if I've got time, I'll sit down and I'll be like, right, I might as well start a new idea. Might as well just
Very cool.
play around with stuff. And like it's, I haven't got time to release stuff at the moment. I've released stuff before,
Yeah.
but just until I've finished uni, I've got to focus on that.
yeah,
So there's at least like 12 projects that are like sat like 80% done that I could release, but I can't be arsed with the hassle. At the
and
moment.
this is something when you finish uni and you just got work. That's when you can go. You know what? This is my now actual
Yeah,
hobby.
yeah,
I can
yeah,
actually
exactly.
focus on a
I
lot
can
more
actually-
stuff. Enjoy doing it.
Yeah,
at the
get lost
moment,
in it again.
At the moment, because I'm doing it so much with uni anyway, it feels
Takes the
like
fun away
it's
from it.
feels like it's work
Yeah.
when I'm doing it. So like I say, it's a coping mechanism, but
Yeah.
at the same time,
It's not work.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I haven't really got anything at the moment to kind of. I'm plodding along.
I'm plodding
Plodding
I'm trying
along.
to find my zone. Yeah.
I'm just that and Call of Duty. Just play Call of
Oh,
Duty till
yeah,
silly
of
o'clock
course.
in the morning and go.
Yeah.
I've got work in 3 hours. I should probably go to sleep. Just do that.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Or just
yeah,
go
do
out.
my method. Distract yourself.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
don't sleep ever again.
No,
fine.
you need sleep.
Yeah, exactly. So like with all that said, obviously there's a bit
I
of
think
a
we're all finding our way, aren't we, to help deal with these kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, none of us know what we're really need to do until you do it, and you find something that works for you. For me, I found that going to the gym does massively help me.
I've started going to the gym.
And you started going to the gym now, and obviously you go to the gym, and you know you get the endorphins, you get all the nice stuff, and I think that it's a very simple way of saying, you know, this will help people.
Yeah.
But obviously I don't know each individual. I don't know, you know, everyone else. Everyone's got their own things going on, so it might not. But I think to a degree, exercise as a whole, even if it's just stepping outside, and as much as I hate to say this because you know how much I hate walking, going out and just having a walk,
cardio,
clear your head,
for you,
get off your phone, that sort of stuff. I think that kind of stuff will help, you know, the stresses a little bit, especially people, you know, who are in the industry full time, and it's almost like, you know, absolutely mental speed for 48 hours a week, and then you've got that one day off or whatever where you actually can switch off. Try and find that bit of time. But you know, what do I know? It's just a thought.
Well, to be fair, like I actually enjoy just like my walks to work. I'll just stick my headphones on.
Yeah.
It'd be like 10 minutes. I'll put like
that's one of the best things.
I'll put like really hard music up before the shift to like hype myself up for it.
And you walk in, there's no customers. Like,
yeah, you're like, oh, I've done that for nothing.
The best thing I found recently is that I've started running, and I used to always run with headphones in, and my headphones at the minute I need to get some new ones, but because they're a bit shit. But I've been running without any headphones, just literally just my phone's in my pocket. I've got my watch on that's recording stuff, but I'm not listening to anything other than like the sounds. Like just going and running through a park when you're just hearing like the birds or people shouting at the dog, you know, like the weird little things that goes on around us that we always tune out. It's
for
really
me that
relaxing.
is I mean, running worst nightmare anyway.
Yeah.
That's vital. It's cardio.
It's like a brisk walk for you, isn't it?
It's not even a brisk walk. I get annoyed having to walk to the shop down the road.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when someone forgets to buy milk and we need to go to Tesco, fuming.
Yeah.
Absolutely fuming. And I hate it. I'm out of breath. I don't want to do it. But like, I mean, that's amazing. Like, if you're doing stuff like that, I think that's really cool. And you've entered into do a half marathon.
Signed up for a half marathon
because he's into running now.
Yeah.
So he's
and again, all or nothing.
This is his thing for the next couple of months is running.
I've not run 10k yet, but apparently I'm signed up for a half marathon.
When is the half marathon?
It is the beginning of May.
Good.
So,
I mean, yeah, good.
I've got 13 weeks.
Yeah, you'll be fine. It'll be fine. So with all that said, that's kind of us, isn't it? That's, you know, what we kind of sort of do. Next couple of episodes, so next one we're doing is we're going to look at and I don't want to say the darker side of things, but I want to say that show more the reality of, because this is
reality of the job, like
I mean,
what we have to deal with.
These are our sort of glamorous coping mechanisms. The reality of it is,
these are the fun bits.
Well, this is what you'd say to people. I say to everyone all the time, I go to the gym, it helps me cope. But the reality is, I actually probably eat loads of really bad food to help me cope, because it makes me happy. I also stay up too late playing video games, you know, and stuff like that. I barely sleep, those sort of things. And thankfully, I don't really drink too much. That's just one of the things. I used to, like when I was a lot younger, every single night of the week I'd be drinking. So that would be how I'd cope. And obviously, you guys drink. You know, when you finish work, you have a drink, and that's absolutely fine.
I mean, thankfully, I think I got from lockdown. I got out of the habit of drinking.
Yeah, so did I. And then lockdown really changed a lot of things for me. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah, I feel like a COVID thing would be a good episode for you guys to talk about. I think.
Yeah, no, we're going to
me less so because I wasn't really involved in the industry at that point. But I think it'd be good for you guys to talk about it.
Yeah, I think so, actually.
It was a big thing.
18 months off, baby. It was amazing.
Lots of people got affected by it.
Yeah.
You know,
I
think for the hospitality, everyone said it was all right because we just got 18 months away from people.
Yeah.
Because we deal with people.
But if you think about like.
The real side of it is horrible.
Like
absolutely. But
all the people that like lost their jobs without paying.
Yeah.
That one guy who's a dickhead.
Yeah, that big pub company.
Yeah.
But the obviously with that next one is we're going to talk about the other side of it is because obviously what we're talking about now is glamorous, what we'd like to do, blah blah blah. But the reality is a lot of people have very negative coping mechanisms, and that's like drinking, drugs, and other things like that. And we've all been affected by that in some way or another. We know people and whatever, so we could just talk about that side of stuff because there's going to be people out there that are you still doing that as a coping mechanism as opposed to just for fun or whatever. So something like that. And then we've got some other episodes planned in over the next couple of weeks and bits. But yeah, I think that's pretty much us for today, unless you've got anything wonderful you want to tell me.
I think it's good to wrap up at this point, I think.
Sam, thanks for coming on again, first one. And then obviously you're going to keep going on all the others now?
Yeah, I think so.
Fantastic.
Nice.
You happy with everything?
I'm not having to bother with all this stuff now.
I know, it's amazing. This place is wonderful, so we'll just keep coming here.
Yeah.
But lovely. Well, thanks ever so much, and talk to you soon.
Yeah. See you there, lads.